today we have an origami lesson, and it is a rabbit. And if you haven't been watching all this week, or maybe if you have, then you know that I have a theme, and it's been all bunnies and eggs. So without further ado, let's go ahead and make an origami bunny together. All right, I am at my studio desk, and we are getting ready to do our origami rabbit. So, if you watched in a previous episode, I showed you how you can take a regular piece of rectangular paper, like copy paper, and you can take a corner and you can just fold it down so that the edges are even. Then you can take a pencil, or you could even just fold this part over if you want it to, make it quick and easy. And when you open it up, if you cut this section here, you're gonna have a square. And so any paper can now be used as origami paper. If you wanted to have one side be colored, you could color it in with a crayon or a colored pencil or something else, and now you've got a white side and a colored side. Okay, so I have origami paper because it's easier to see the directions when it is traditional paper, when it's white on one side and colored on the other, but don't feel like you need to have that. Okay, so the first step that we are going to do is turn our paper to the white side. Yay! And then we're going to turn our paper so that it looks like a diamond. Yay! And then I am going to fold this one down so that the corners meet. And anytime we're doing origami, you know, I like to call it rocket science, because you do have to try to get those folds as neat as possible, because folds you do near the beginning do have an impact on how it's going to look near the end. Okay, so next we are going to go ahead and take these two corners and fold them down so they will meet at the bottom one here. So I'm just going to pick up the right one first, fold it down, and then crease it. Take the next one, fold it down, and then crease it. If you missed it, it's these steps again. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's it. All right, our next step is going to be to take these two corners on the sides, left and right, and we're gonna fold those over so that it makes the kite fold. So how does that look? Well, basically we're gonna take this edge here and we're gonna line it up with this this line down the middle. So I'm just gonna pick it up and fold it over so there is nice and neat. I know this is tough because you have so many layers of paper. But again, all I did was take this outside edge and fold it so that it goes inward, like so. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take this left side, and I'm gonna do the same thing, so that when you're done, it kind of looks like a kite that you might fly in the sky, a traditional kite. Not those really cool kite festival kites that you see in Japan. Whoa. If you haven't seen those, you need to go check those out. It's pretty neat. All right, so you can see how that looks. Our next step is going to be to open up these flaps of paper. So watch me as I do this one very carefully. So I'm first going to find the inside part where there's a color in here. I know there's multiple flaps in here, but you want to kind of fold those over until you can see that it's colored and not white. Then I like to pretend that my finger is a train conductor. Have your conductor travel along the track until he wears a little hat. So you can see here by me kind of following that crease inward, you can see how it makes a little hat on top of your finger. And so I'm going to press this down. And the goal here is to try to make the crease line that's right here line up with this crease part here that's down below it, so it makes like a straight line. If you missed it, I'm going to show it one more time. So again, kind of find that little opening in here, put your finger inside it, travel along that line, and then until you can't go any further, and then just press that down. All right, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I am going to put my finger, find that, the colored part here, before I can put my finger in there. There we go. Now put my finger in there, and then have your little train conductor travel up the train track until he wears a little hat. And again, just fold that part down. This should be what you have right now. All right, for our next step, we are going to be folding our paper in half. But instead of folding the edges together, we're going to be folding them apart and to the back. So it looks like this here. Tsukuyomi's chewing on a toy right now, so if you hear squeakies, then you know it's my pet dog. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and you need to turn it so that it looks like mine right here. So that means you've got a flat edge of the bottom, you've got this long skinny triangle flap that's right here, and it's important for the positioning or else other steps will not make super sense to you. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to take this top skinny flap of triangle of my origami, and all I'm going to do is watch it from this side. I'm going to just move it up and crease it down. So if you missed it, I'm going to show it from this side. So I just fold it under, so it's underneath there, and I've just flipped it up. Is all that I've done is I flipped it up instead of it going down. Flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. All right, our next step is to fold this is going to become the ear. We want to fold that in half. So I'm just going to take this outside corner that's here in the middle, and I'm just going to fold that ear in half and try to get it down into the rabbit near the bottom too, if you can get some of that folded in. So I'm just going to crease that there. And this is one of those hard folds just because there's so many layers of paper in there. But again, I just fold that in half. So I took this outside corner and made it so that the ear up here gets folded in half, and I try to incorporate that crease all the way down here too. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side, just going from the opposite direction. So again, fold that in half as much as you can, and try to get it down there too if you can. All right, so our next step is, I'm actually going to hold him by his ears to do this next step. But basically, I'm going to put my finger inside this little pocket that's right here, and I'm going to fold, I'm going to kind of push these apart, these two corners here, push them apart, and when I do that, it's going to make a head pop down. So again, we want to make sure that's as open as we can get it. And you can see here, by moving these back, it makes this part go down. And then I am going to crease it where the head will meet where the ears are right there. So if you miss it, I'm going to show it one more time. You're just going to stick your finger in this little pocket here, take these two corners, push them out and back, and that will make his head appear. Now I can kind of play around with his ears if I want to. Make them out and then put my finger in there and make them open. I think that makes it look really cool. And for the next two ones, they're both kind of, this one here, it's to make the little tail pop up. All I do is I take this part here and I kind of fold it up like that, and I can crease it in place. I like to just do this as a squash fold, but you could make it more fancy if you want to get in there and really try to make those edges kind of crease out. But I think it's just fine, kind of wrinkling it, making his little bunny tail stick out like that. And then for his nose, I just kind of push this in a little bit, like that very little tip, I move inward. So again, all I did was, I take this little tip here and I just push it to the inside of his nose, inside of his head, I mean. And then there's my little rabbit. And with a little luck, you can get him to stand up on his own too. So yay, so there, mine stands up. And you can add extra decoration to him. Like you can add spots. I'm gonna add an eye, maybe add a little nose, maybe some little bunny ears, you know, maybe a little claw down here. But you can have a lot of fun with those. All right, and there is the bunny. Hi, so I hope you enjoyed doing the Origami Bunny with me. I know it's a little more challenging than some of the super easy ones I've done in class, but I think you're gonna really feel a sense of satisfaction completing it, don't you? All right, so this is Shishi, and he is here to do our super silly joke of the day, and that is, so what is an Easter bunny's favorite kind of music? Hip hop. Hip hop, hippity hoppity. Yeah, hip hop is his favorite kind of music. So we'll be with you again real soon, and I hope you have a great day. Be kind to one another. Love on your family. They deserve it. And I know we'll be together again real soon.